Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thanks for checking in. It's been a little while. I know I do the reviews when I do them, and there's usually a little bit of a space between each upload. But in this case, there were a few extra days, and I'd actually like to get to that, why there was that little bit of a break in uploads right away, and then we'll just get into the review. So for the last week, I think it's actually been a little bit more than a week at this point, I've been very sick, and not with a typical, cold or flu or, COVID or any of that, but in this case, what had me down for the count was food poisoning. And I think you know where I'm going with this. That item that I tried out in the last review, that Italian sandwich from Wendy's, that's what did it. So you got to witness the food poisoning. It was right there on camera for your viewing pleasure, but that sandwich that I tried, that Italian sandwich, the title is not an exaggeration. That was easily, by far, the worst item from Wendy's I've ever had. And quite frankly, considering, the after effects and what it did for me, what it did to me, and believe me when I say it, I was down for the count. I was not in good shape for a while. That was one of the worst things ever, considering that. Sandwich was rotten in every possible way. It just, I would avoid it, quite frankly. I know that not every Wendy's, is going to have those issues, but it's just, I have nothing good to say about it at this point. Any redeeming qualities that sandwich had just went straight out the door. That thing is dead to me. But anyway, I've been getting a bit better the last few days, and I wanted to get back into things. I wanted to get the reviews going once again. And I was looking around, I was trying to figure out, all right, getting back on my feet, what's been released in the meantime, and what should I try out? And you couldn't believe my enthusiasm when I found out that Burger King was releasing a sandwich that looked just like what I had tried from Wendy's, and knowing what that did to me, all I could do was I was just sitting here thinking to myself, I guess Burger King is going to finish what Wendy's started. And obviously you could tell how motivated that made me to want to try that out. So then I started looking around because, quite frankly, the motivation was just too much, and I thought I don't want to overdo it. So I was looking around some more, and then I finally found that Wingstop has released a new wing flavor, and I thought, what the heck. At the very least, hopefully this won't kill me or anything, and at least I could give myself a little bit of a break from the poisoning. So that's what I'm trying out today. Wingstop has released, and they released this about a week ago, I'd say, they've released their new Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. Now, this barbecue sauce you can get in a variety, so you can get it on a variety of their items. You can get it on their wings, of course. You could have it as a wing sauce. You could have it on their chicken tenders, or you could have it on a chicken sandwich. And they've really been promoting in the ads the sauce being on a chicken sandwich. So that's the approach I'm going to be taking as I review this. So here's what they say their Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. Here's what it entails. They say that it's supposed to have various notes of mustard, vinegar, and brown sugar. So it's supposed to have a little bit of a potent sharpness, perhaps a little bit of a bite, with a hint of sweetness as well. It's going to be interesting. So I got it on the chicken sandwich. Again, I've got the sandwich right here. The chicken sandwich, for the most part, is pretty straightforward. I've tried it out before. And you have the chicken fillet, some pickles, a bun, and then the sauce of your choice is then drizzled on top of the chicken. Price for this, $6.40 for the chicken sandwich with, again, the new Carolina Gold barbecue sauce drizzled thereon. Now, being that I've already reviewed the chicken sandwich itself, of course, I'm still going to assess the quality of it and make sure that it's meeting, maintaining, or hopefully exceeding the standards. But mostly I want to try out that sauce and see how does it complement or detract from the chicken sandwich. So anyway, comes in the little receptacle there. And opening the receptacle up, you can see there it is. Let's get a good look at it. If you look at the picture for the ad, you know these places, they always kind of exaggerate what the product looks like, but you should check out the picture that they used for the ad because they, it's obviously photoshopped and edited and whatnot, as they all are, but they added like this filter to it that makes the sandwich look like it's gold in color. And obviously, as you could see, it isn't. It just looks like a standard chicken sandwich, but not bad. Not discerning any sorts of prominent notes, but looks like a good chicken fillet. You could see thoroughly coated in the sauce there. A little crisp to it. The one thing, I kind of say this just almost in a way to remind myself, is that looks like they forgot the pickles. Oh no. Oh no. They did though. They Oh well, it is what it is. That's just, that's a standard fast food experience. Yeah, you could see no pickles are to be seen. There aren't any on the bottom bun either. Oh well, it just is what it is. So anyway, the one thing I just have to remind myself of is just because the experience I had last week was so ungodly bad, and I know I'm kind of taking it out on Wendy's right now, but I can't help it, that I just have to remind myself my expectations are just so rock bottom at this point that I'm just hoping this doesn't make me sick. Because, like I said, my expectations are just so low at this point. And I have to remind myself, maybe just, try to have them a little higher than that, perhaps. Anyway, so no pickles, but it is what it is. Let's just see how the sauce is. Let's see how the sandwich is. Again, $6.40 for the item. So let's try it out. The new Carolina Gold Barbecue Chicken Sandwich from Wingstop. It's going in. Alright, let's get straight to business. It's one of those items where there isn't a ton to say, so it's not going to be the biggest assessment in the world. All in all, I'm fine with it. And that's good. And it's not, like I said, I kind of reminded myself, don't just say good things about it because it's better than that pile of that I had last week. You know, just try to have your sights a little higher than that. So indeed, number one, at least it's edible, which is good. That's what I was hoping for, at least. You know, the chicken tastes like chicken, which is what you hope. It doesn't just taste like some salty blob. And that's good. It's tender. It's juicy. I think the quality of the chicken fillet is actually better than what I had the last time I tried out the chicken sandwich, which is good. Obviously, it's missing the pickles, and that's a little disappointing. The pickles are always a nice note to have on the chicken sandwich, though I'll get to that in a minute. But quality-wise, the chicken is good. Flavorful, tender, doesn't taste, overtly off or any of that, which is good. Nice crisp to the outside, obviously breaded, fried, etc., so it has that little bit of that crispness to it. Now for the sauce. I like the sauce, actually. There's certain characteristics of it that definitely are much more strongly emphasized than others. One thing to note with Wingstop is that these places have various types of sauces. Or not just Wingstop, any wing establishment is what I'm trying to say. And Wingstop is known for having a very oily sauce. So a lot of the time their sauce, people might think of it as kind of runny. As a result, it'll kind of coat the items, but you might not get a ton of the sauce on it. Because again, some people view their sauce as being watery and runny, etc. So here's the interesting thing. The sauce that they have on the sandwich here, again, the Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, doesn't fit that profile. It does not fit the profile of a standard Wingstop wing sauce. It's a much thicker sauce. Much thicker. Definitely doesn't quite have the consistency of honey, but it kind of is comparable to that in a way, where it's much thicker, not oily, not runny, but it's sticky, and again, thicker. So as a result, though, as you're biting into this, you're going to have there's going to be more sauce sticking to the surface of the sandwich than just sliding off of it, which is good because it allows for there to be more flavor, more concentrated flavor on the sandwich. So I like that. I like that this sauce is not as oily or runny as some of their other wing sauces are. And likewise, in terms of eating it, it doesn't get on your hands as much, which is good. So, now that we know that that's how the sauce is, that's how the sandwich is, on a final note, let me get a sip of water here. What can be said about the sauce itself? I mentioned that there were a few notes that were stronger than others, and indeed, the first thing that I could taste for sure is the mustard. It has that. You would definitely think, like, if you ate this, you'd almost think, if you didn't know the name. Let me just adjust something with the camera real quick. Sorry about that. I needed to check the lens real quick. So anyway, what I was just mentioning in terms of the train of thought, if I didn't know the name of this sandwich before I was trying it out, so if this was just put in front of me and I didn't know the name, I didn't know that this was going to be called the Carolina Gold barbecue sandwich, and I were asked, all right, what do you think this flavor is, right? What would you say that this is? I would say, oh, this is a honey mustard sauce, isn't it? Because that's what you think. Where you could most definitely, the first thing you could taste is that sharpness from the mustard in the sauce, followed by that very honey-esque sweetness. Not necessarily brown sugar. That's the interesting thing. I wouldn't really say I'm getting very many brown sugar notes. But more, and maybe it's just the stickiness that the sauce has as well, that it just conjures that image. When I taste the sweetness here, it seems almost more like honey-esque compared to anything else. Now, the final note of the sauce that they mention is the vinegar. And this is where I was going on with the pickles. You could definitely taste that almost acidic bite, that tanginess that you could taste in the vinegary notes of the sauce. As a result, though, I'm sure that would be amplified if the pickles were actually on the sandwich, which normally they should be. But it complements the chicken very nicely, and likewise, even though there weren't any pickles on my sandwich, that note in the sauce pretty much was an adequate substitution for pickles. It had all those notes that the pickles would have added to the sandwich. It was still there despite there not being any pickles, which is what I'm trying to say. So I think that if pickles were added to the sandwich, it would only amplify that note a little bit further, but I don't think that it would be excessive. The one good thing is that while all of these notes in the sauce have that potential, they have that possibility for being very strong, very overbearing, overpowering in a way, because with all these things, like I said, some places they just don't get it right, and you try it out and it's just too much of this, it's too sweet, it's too tangy, it's too sharp, etc. These are all some very powerful flavors, but Wingstop did a good job here. They made sure to moderate everything out, everything is balanced out good, very nicely I should say. It complements the chicken nicely. All of these various notes in the sauce work together, it blends well, and again, one note does not cancel out the other, nor are they overwhelming or overbearing. So everything's balanced out. I think they got the levels right. Like I said, it's got those sharp notes. It's just like, pretty much it's like a honey barbecue, a honey mustard, not a honey barbecue. I looked at I saw barbecue. It's what's got me thinking about that. It's kind of like a honey mustard sauce, but it's good. I enjoy it. It complements the chicken nicely, and I'm happy with it. So quality-wise, pretty good. Good quality chicken. The sauce is decent as well. Happy that, again, the sweetness, too, is just right. And like I said, that tanginess provided with the vinegar note of the sauce is good, and if the pickles are on it, I think it would only be amplified further. So factoring everything in, price is $6.40. Out of 10, I am going to be giving the Carolina Gold Barbecue Sandwich from Wingstop, I'm going to be giving it a 7 out of 10 flat. Pretty good for what it is, so don't hesitate to check it out if you have the opportunity to do so. With that, that's all that I have for you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.